Have you ever noticed that after meeting a crush at university and constantly thinking about them, they suddenly seem to appear everywhere? You see them in the mess hall, in class, all over the place. Notice that this only starts happening after you have met or seen them. Have you ever wondered why you keep running into them everywhere? Or consider this. Let me tell you my story. In high school, I struggled with physics and was physically unfit. Later, I somehow got into a physics major at university, and I also managed to get into great shape and become healthy. Looking back, achieving these goals felt very easy to me, which made me think anyone should be able to do it. But when I look at the people around me, I see them struggling with basic things, like going to the gym or even passing their exams. So why is it that some people who are not naturally good at something end up becoming really good at it, while others who want the exact same thing keep struggling? In my case, I started believing I was already excellent at these things. After just a few days at the gym, I convinced myself I could lift anything. I felt invincible, like no one could outdo me. I carried the same attitude into physics. I believed I could solve any problem put in front of me. Notice that specific mindset, that belief, was the thing sitting underneath both achievements. You have probably heard this called manifestation. Think it, believe it, and it happens. But here is the question this video is actually about. If simply believing you are good at something can help you become good at it, what is actually happening inside your brain? And if belief is really that powerful, why does it not work equally well for everyone? Plenty of people believe hard. Plenty of people say affirmations every morning. Not all of them end up fit, or good at physics, or successful. So is there something genuinely special about manifestation? Or are we just giving a mystical name to something psychology has already been studying for decades? That is what we are going to dig into. Here is the problem. When people say manifestation, they are usually talking about two completely different claims, and mixing them up is exactly why the debate gets so confusing. The first is the supernatural version. The idea that if you think about something strongly enough, the universe rearranges itself to make it happen. Is there scientific evidence for this? No, not in any form that has held up. The second is the psychological version. The idea that what you repeatedly think and believe changes what you notice, how you behave, how much effort you put in, and how long you stick with something. That second one is not mystical at all. That one has actual science behind it. And that is the version we are going to spend the rest of this video on. Remember the crush example? You meet someone, they become important to you, and suddenly your attention gets more sensitive to them, so you notice them more. Here is the part almost nobody realizes. The person did not start showing up more. Your perception of them showing up changed. This has a name: selective attention, paired with something called the frequency illusion, also known as the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. Before you met your crush, there were 1,000 things happening around you every day, and your brain filtered almost all of them out as irrelevant. The moment you meet them, your brain quietly flags them as important. And now, every time they are anywhere nearby, that flag fires. Your brain hands it straight to your conscious attention. So maybe manifestation did not change the world around you. Maybe it changed what your brain allowed you to notice. Now let us go back to me, in the gym, telling myself I could lift anything. The lazy conclusion would be, I believed it, so my body manifested strength. That is the mystical version again, and we already agreed that one does not hold up. So instead, ask the actual scientific question. What did that belief make me do? Because believing I could lift anything probably meant I walked up to the heavier weights without hesitation, showed up more consistently because I expected to succeed, pushed a little harder on the last rep instead of quitting early, did not quit the first time something felt hard, paid closer attention to small signs of progress, and got a little more confident every single week. None of that is magic. That is just a chain. Belief leads to behavior. Behavior leads to practice. Practice leads to skill, and skill leads to results. That chain is far more interesting than saying I believed it and it happened, because it actually tells you what to go do. Here is where it gets really interesting. Because belief does not just cause one action. It builds a loop. You tell yourself you can do it. You attempt it. You get a small win. Confidence goes up. You attempt something slightly harder. You improve a bit more. And then you think, see, I really can do it. And belief gets even stronger. That is a positive feedback loop. It feeds itself. Now flip it. You tell yourself you are terrible at this. You avoid the task. Less practice happens. Performance stays poor. You get frustrated. And then you think, see, I knew I could not do it. And belief gets even stronger, just in the opposite direction. Same mechanism. Two completely different outcomes, purely based on which direction the loop starts spinning, which suddenly makes the earlier question a lot deeper. Why does one person find something easy while another struggles with the exact same thing? A lot of the time, it is not talent. It is which loop they got stuck in first. Now, before this turns into another Just Manifest It video, let us challenge our own argument. If simply believing you can do something were enough, should not everyone just decide they are brilliant, athletic, and rich and become all three? Obviously, that is not how it works. So belief clearly is not the whole story. Belief is one variable. It is not the only variable, and it is definitely not magic. Someone can believe with everything they have that they are going to become an Olympic athlete. They still need training, physical capacity, coaching, nutrition, recovery, opportunity, and time. Belief does not skip any of those steps. The same applies to physics. Believing you are good at it does not hand you the mathematics. What it can do is change whether you actually attempt the hard problem, whether you tolerate being confused for a while instead of giving up, whether you go ask for help, and whether you try again after getting it wrong. Belief opens the door. It does not walk through it for you. Once you strip away the mystical claim, here is what is actually operating underneath the word manifestation. Selective attention, which is why you suddenly start noticing things connected to your goals. Confirmation bias, which is why the times manifestation worked stick in your memory far more than the times it did not. Self-efficacy, which is your belief in your own ability to actually pull off a specific task. Expectations, which quietly shape how you behave and what you perceive. Self-fulfilling prophecies, where an expectation can indirectly help produce the very outcome you expected. Mental imagery and visualization, where picturing an action ahead of time can sharpen preparation or performance. And goal-directed behavior, where having a clear target changes which actions you prioritize day to day. Every single one of those is studied, tested, and documented. None of them require the universe to do anything on your behalf. There is one more explanation you have probably heard thrown around in manifestation content: quantum physics. Your thoughts create your reality, because apparently quantum mechanics says the observer affects the outcome. Here is the honest answer. Quantum mechanics is genuinely strange. Particles behaving probabilistically, observation affecting measurement at the subatomic scale, that is all real physics. But weird is not the same as evidence for manifestation. The observer effect in quantum mechanics describes interactions between particles and measuring instruments at a subatomic scale. It says nothing about a person's thoughts shaping events in their life. Borrowing quantum language to justify a personal development claim is a leap the physics itself does not support. Weird does not equal magic. So let us go back to where we started. Why did my crush suddenly seem to appear everywhere? Why did physics and fitness get easier once I believed I could do them? Maybe manifestation was never one single phenomenon. Maybe it is several ordinary things wearing one trendy name. Some of it is attention. Some of it is expectation. Some of it is self-efficacy and confidence. Some of it is behavior quietly shifting because of what you believe. And some of it is just coincidence that our brains, being pattern-hungry machines, dress up in meaning after the fact. None of that requires the universe to rearrange itself around your thoughts. Maybe the most powerful part of manifestation was never that your thoughts changed the world. Maybe it is that your thoughts changed the way you move through it.